So, what if you could use AI to work smarter, not just harder? Today, we're diving into a practical guide that's all about helping you do exactly that, to get more of the right things done. We're going to walk through the actual steps to make it a reality.
Does this feel familiar? I mean, your calendar is just jam-packed, you're constantly jumping between a million apps, but at the end of the day, you're kind of left wondering, what did I actually get done today? If that sounds like you are definitely not alone.
You know, we were all promised this massive leap in productivity with AI, but for most of us, the reality is, well, it's messy. We're practically drowning in different tools and endless browser tabs, and the tech itself just becomes one more thing to manage. And that is the core problem we're going to tackle today.
Okay, so let's start with the big issue here, the modern work problem. We are living smack in the middle of what's called a productivity paradox. We have more powerful tools at our fingertips than at any point in history, yet our attention is completely shattered. Every single notification, every time we switch apps, it's like a tiny paper cut to our ability to do deep, meaningful work.
But what if we just reframe this whole thing? Instead of looking at AI as just another tool we have to manage, we can see it as a totally new way to think about our work itself. And to help us do that, this guide lays out a simple, but believe me, an incredibly powerful three-step AI roadmap.
The roadmap is actually a really logical progression. First, you have to reclaim your focus by blocking all those distractions. Then, once you've got that headspace, you can amplify your unique talents to scale yourself. And finally, you channel that new power to deliver real, tangible results. Let's start with that all-important first step, reclaiming your focus.
All right, so step one is all about getting your focus back. The most foundational way to use AI is to protect your most valuable resource, your attention. This isn't about adding another complicated system to your life, it's about delegating all that administrative junk, the scheduling, the searching, the summarizing, that just eats up your mental energy, so you can finally focus on what actually matters.
And if you need proof of just how big this problem really is, just look at this number, 121. That is the average number of emails a professional gets every single day. And each one is a potential interruption, a context switch that yanks you right out of your flow state.
So how does AI actually help with this? Well, we can think about these AI helpers in two different roles. On one hand, you've got the assistant. Think of it as your smart reading buddy that helps you make sense of information. And on the other hand, you have the agent. This is your digital doer that actually takes action for you.
Now, the absolute key to making this work is how you communicate with them. A really vague prompt like, "Help me with my emails," well, it's going to get you a vague, unhelpful result. But a strong, specific, goal-oriented prompt like the one you see on the right, that's when AI goes from a simple tool to a true executive assistant that can save you hours. Here is a perfect example in action. Instead of spending your morning manually scrolling through a sea of Slack channels, a single, clear command like this just cuts right through the noise and gives you exactly what you need. This is how you start to take your focus back. And once you've done that, you get to move on to the next level. Which brings us to our second step, amplifying your talent. See, once you've cleared away all those distractions and created that space for deep work, AI can become a true force multiplier. This stage is all about extending what you as an individual are capable of, letting you work at the scale of your curiosity, not the limits of your time. And this is really the core idea here. It is not about letting AI do the thinking for you, no way. It's about letting it handle the heavy lifting of research and synthesis so that your expertise and your intuition can be in the driver's seat, guiding the whole process.
And this lets you go way beyond just simple keyword searches. We're talking about tackling tasks that used to require a whole team of people. Things like conducting in-depth market intelligence, analyzing really complex data for strategic planning, or even digging through dense regulatory documents. But then, how do you turn all this newfound knowledge into something, tangible? That's where these AI-powered creation studios come in. Think of them as tools that take your ideas and research and just automatically transform them into polished, professional deliverables, like reports and presentations.
A prompt like this is the perfect example. You provide the raw material, your messy notes, your half-baked ideas, and the AI handles the execution, building out an entire executive-level presentation. It lets you focus on the strategy, not on fiddling with formatting. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most important stage of all, delivering real impact.
Because look, it's not enough to be focused and talented. You have to turn that into actual results that move your career and your company forward.
Let's be real, this is a question every single one of us faces. Proving your value can be so hard. The data's all over the place, scattered across emails, project files, chat logs. Just pulling it all together is a monumental chore.
But just imagine if an AI could be your own personal analyst. It can scan through all your work, your projects, your emails, even your calendar to find the patterns and connect the dots. And most importantly, it can identify your wins and the key outcomes you've actually delivered.
And this is the ultimate payoff. A prompt like this turns all that raw data into a compelling, evidence-based story of your contributions. It's not just about working smarter, it's about making sure that your smarter work gets noticed. So, to wrap it all up, the entire roadmap is actually beautifully simple. You start by reclaiming your focus. You build on that solid foundation by amplifying your talent. And you finish by delivering and documenting real, measurable results.
Ultimately, this is the big takeaway here. The goal of AI in the workplace isn't to replace your unique perspective or your creativity. The goal is to remove all of the administrative friction, all that busy work that gets in the way, so the absolute best parts of your thinking can finally flourish. The only question left is, what will you accomplish once all that friction is gone?